once again, the FBI who Malcolm X, you know, do you think that their hand is in it once again?
Well, the FBI is just an extension of this government.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This government is ultimately corrupt, so the offspring is going to be corrupt as well. You look at people like J. Edgar Hoover, who his sole mission, his purpose was to bring us down. You know,
right.
Many of the policies and stuff. He went after Marcus Garvey. He went after the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was involved with Malcolm. He was involved with all of these people
right.
during the 60s and when he first came into the FBI. But another thing I've been noticing is that Malcolm X has been in the news recently. Even before that, there was some scandals about some other documents that were supposed to come out. They had his daughters in the news. I read them in the news probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So it kind of seemed like it trickled up to this point. Like they kept throwing Malcolm out here, Malcolm out there, and then now it's this book, you know, that's supposed to have some negative stuff in there about Malcolm.
Also in the book, he says that the two shooters or killers of Malcolm X were not in the Audubon ballroom that day. But then he says he got some declassified files from the CIA, and he says there were 6 other shooters of Malcolm X. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, but first, let's say this here. First, Congress can't get information from the CIA.
Yes, sir.
Classified. They can't get it. How did this pimp punk get it?
Yes, sir.
Now, we got the autopsy on Malcolm.
Yes, sir.
And we kept wondering how do the federal government have the autopsy when that wasn't a federal crime?
That's right.
Hmm?
That's right.
That's not a federal crime.
That's right.
Okay, so how did they get the autopsy?
Yes.
So we look at the autopsy. Now remember, the brothers was on the ground.
That's right.
Somebody threw a stink bomb in the back when everybody was looking and running and screaming.
Right.
They ran up and pointed up and shot Malcolm.
That's right.
Now, the guy, the Good Samaritan that's on his knees giving Malcolm mouth to mouth, he's a secret undercover New York cop who was Malcolm's bodyguard. When you look at Malcolm's autopsy,
yes,
this is cold-blooded now.
That's right.
You look at Malcolm's autopsy and look at James Earl, not James Earl Ray, the guy with the Kennedy. Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oh, Lee Harvey Oswald, yes, sir.
When you look at Lee Harvey Oswald,
right,
autopsy.
Yes.
Malcolm and Lee Harvey died from the same thing. Air bubbles to the lung.
Yes, sir.
Because you don't give mouth-to-mouth on a chest wound.
That's right.
The CIA done already admitted that they rented the Ottoman ballroom 2 weeks before Malcolm was there.
That's right.
Okay, that's where they cut the holes in the wall. All the bullets in Malcolm go down.
Right. Yes, sir.
The guys is on the floor shooting up.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Now, that Sunday, Malcolm called me. I was finishing up a nightclub engagement at Basin Street East in New York.
Yes, sir.
Called me at 6 in the morning. Brother Greg, you don't forget today. I said, Malcolm, I love you, man. And I'm so sure the government going to wipe you today that I'm not going to give them the pleasure 2 for the price of 1.
Yes, sir.
And when I hang up, I'm going to call Adam Powell and say, when he get through preaching his sermon, do not go by the Ottoman ballroom.
Yes, sir.
He said, I'm sorry you feel that way, brother.
That's right.
So I said, goodbye, man. I love you. Now, if he's done all this research, how come he don't know the bullets was going down?
That's right. Down into Malcolm.
Instead up, if you done all this.
That's right. That's right.
And so, again, how come you didn't know that the CIA rented the Ottoman ballroom?
That's right. It's not
so if your research is so thorough, so here's what he just did, but that it gets the CIA and the FBI off the spot.
That's right. And New York Police Department. Right. Yes, sir.
All right.
Trying to be, look, for those of us who paid any attention to intelligence agency operation in this country, around the world, it makes it almost impossible for us to put anything outside the realm of possibility. So I don't know. But what I think we can say, or what I'm confident at least in saying, is that when you read the book and its conclusions and the way it looks to shape Malcolm X in the contemporary, world, whether or not he was visited by the FBI and this was an intentional operation to do this to Malcolm's image, it more or less carries the same effect. It has the same result. So in many ways, people talk about auto-colonialism and internalized oppression and all that. this would be a perfect example of that. And you know, I mean, you got to look real carefully what he says in the epilogue, and see how he builds to it. It's exactly what I was saying about Peniel Joseph, who's one of his mentees, by the way. That you sort of carefully and skillfully, and it's very well written, twist the radical politics into something that could be. First of all, to even pose the question, what would Malcolm X say in 2011, is already going down the wrong path, because 2011 wouldn't be as it exists now if Malcolm had not been killed.
Right.
You can't ask what would Malcolm say of Obama, because Obama would not exist without Malcolm X being killed first. Right. We would not have this phenomenon. We would have never gotten to the point. They would not have been able to pull this this con game had Malcolm not been assassinated and others like him. Exactly. So, but when you start to say that you, in a very carefully manicured way, that Obama is the extension of Malcolm X, or that Malcolm X as a Sunni Muslim would have condemned Al-Qaeda as terrorists for 9/11, is, I think, just a complete bastardization. Right. But this is the man that said, you know, the chicken's coming home to roost after Kennedy. Right. This is a man who was very clear that U.S. imperialism caused whatever the world's responses were, and he said, by any means necessary. Right. The world, the colonized community, should respond by any means necessary. So whatever you think of 9/11, or whatever you think happened, or whatever you think the causes were, or whoever you think was behind it, I think it's safe to say that Malcolm would not have been cheerleading and flag waving with everybody else talking about the terrorists hate us because of our freedoms, or some nonsense like that. So my point is that to me is as much of a damage as if this sort of political shift that's being imposed on Malcolm is the same in result of an FBI agent showing up and saying, this is how you will conclude your book.
Right. Never underestimate the tactics of the FBI, CIA, and many of the intelligence community. They never forget. They never forget, and they will always try to kill the spirit of somebody like a Malcolm X. So the question is, with Manny Marable, who's a respected scholar in the community, but you know, what was his intentions for writing this book? Who put him up to it? You know, was he paid off? I mean, these are a lot of questions that definitely have to be answered. You know what I'm saying? And if some of the things were true, I mean, why put it out? I mean, why now? You know what I mean? You know, why this book coming out now? Why did he pass away? Was it 2 or 3 days before this book
was to be distributed, become public? And that's even suspicious. Even maybe they say, hey, the book already come out. Let's get rid of him, right? So that nobody can question him or challenge him.
Say that he wrote the book and add a whole bunch of other stuff in
there.
Right,
exactly.
I mean, I never put anything past this government.
The book is coming out Monday.
April 4th.
The day King
was assassinated and killed. That's right.
Coming out on Monday.
That's right.
They killed him on Friday.
That's right.
Okay?
Yes.
Killed him on Friday. He in the hospital.
Yeah, it was in the New York Times Friday morning. I'm like, how did they know he was going to die?
Yeah. Now listen to this. It's, you say it was what now?
New York Times, Friday, April the 1st.
Yeah, Friday.
Right.
Friday.
Yes.
He died on Friday.
He died on Friday. What do you call that Good Friday, huh?
Yeah. They asked his wife, what did that? She said she don't know.
Right.
What?
That's right.
He had a double lung transplant.
Yes.
He had healed from that.
That's right.
Okay. Then they had to scramble later when they realized they messed up and give her calls and, and all of that.
That's
but
right.
now he had already been booked on the Today Show.
That's right.
He dead.
He's dead.
Why? Because when you put in here, not only was Malcolm homosexual, his lover was a white boy.
That's what he got on page 66 in the book. I mean, that's what he says.
I said, wait a minute.
Right.
Now, lover was a white boy, the great black nationalist, right?
That's right.
Lover was a white boy, okay? Now, they go on and say the reason that he hated Elijah was Elijah impregnated the woman he was in love with.
That's right. That's right.
Now here's what this is about, y'all.
Yes.
The brother who wrote it paid the ultimate price of dying. You can't go and ask him who was the gay lover he had. The woman's name that Elijah knocked up that was your girlfriend.
Right.
You know.
I thought one of the other kind of strange, eerily twists was that read what the lawyer said at a website, We All Be Malcolm X. he gave Manny Marable 15 minutes to read. Never saw where he said he gave him any more time other than those 15 minutes. So I was like, how could you write a book of this, magnitude and this length if all he gave you was 15 minutes to look at this material?
One of the great things is on the back, they got 3 Negroes.
Right, that's right.
Who validates it.
Right.
Who writes the, great book. Well, they didn't know they was giving themselves away.
That's right.
Henry Louis Gates.
Right, that's right. That's right. Come on.
Cornel West.
That's right. Come on. Eric Dyson.
Come on, y'all. Well,
if we're going to study Malcolm X, and I still think people should read the book, and I think there is value in the book in terms of a discussion of Malcolm's trips to Africa, some of the broader history. I think is still important to revisit. I wouldn't argue that a lot of it is new. I don't think a lot of this, what he writes in the book is new or revelatory. I don't think it probably, again, focuses on the radical aspects of Malcolm's worldview. But I wouldn't say it's completely without value. I would just say we need books, we need versions of, or we need discussions of people like Malcolm X that are going to, in 2011, 2012, explain to young African people around the world, young oppressed people around the world, that Malcolm's politics were correct then. They're still, unfortunately, perfectly appropriate today. And we need to organize around those principles and keep it moving.
Malcolm's biography by Alex Haley, which was trash.
That's right.
Will be pulled off the shelves.
Yes.
And this one will replace it.
That's right. Yes, sir.
This is this is academic PhD from Columbia. Let me tell you, all the Ivy League schools. I didn't say almost, did I? All the Ivy League schools was founded by slave owners.
That's right.
Okay, a place they could send their dumb white boys.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
that's right.
So we gonna bring scholars. We're gonna bring Ray Winbush. Who's been a scholar from Morgan State. He has several books out. He has the Warrior Method, dealing with raising your children in a positive manner. He has the reparations book that he has out. We have Brother Zach Kondo is one of the leading scholars on Malcolm X. Right. That's going to be coming out. And they're going to be with us. Come on out. We want to hear your voice. So we really look forward to seeing you there. Anything else that you want to say or add on?
No, Zach wrote of Malcolm X, and he's talked to Malcolm before, and he pretty much laid out the whole scenario regarding what happened to Malcolm. And I know he's got to be really outraged at Manny Marable's book. So we'll get to hear what Zach has to say about these things, most definitely. And again, Ray Winbush, outstanding brother, outstanding scholar. So the two of them combined should deliver the knockout punch to Manny Marable. I'm sorry that the brother passed. I don't relish in that or anything like that. But what a way to go out, on a negative thing like that.
Right.
So when you sit and look at how